What I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. Michael Carrick has done something that hasn't been done in the Premier League for 16 years. Not Guardiola, not Klopp, not Arteta, not any of the so-called elite managers. Only David Moyes back in 2010 pulled this off, and Carrick just replicated it in his first 2 games as United boss. We're talking about beating both teams, sitting in the top 2 positions at the start of the match day, back-to-back. Away and at home, Manchester City demolished 2-0 at Old Trafford. Arsenal beaten 3-2 at the Emirates in a comeback that had the entire football world stunned. We are 4th in the table for the first time since May 22, and the energy around this club has gone from funeral vibes to absolute pandemonium in just 14 days. But here's the problem, and this is why you need to watch this video all the way through. Sunday against Fulham Old Trafford is exactly the type of match that has destroyed Manchester United season after season. We beat the Giants, then we slip against the teams we should be handling comfortably. Fulham are 9th. They're well drilled. They're dangerous, and they haven't failed to score in 13 of their last 14 matches. Carrick himself came out on Friday and warned the squad that taking Fulham for granted would be bang out of order. Patrick Dorgu is injured. Matthijs de Ligt is still out, and every prediction expert is saying both teams will score, which means this won't be comfortable. This is the trap game, the banana skin, the match that separates pretenders from contenders. Gary Neville and Roy Keane are already debating whether Carrick should get the permanent job. But if we drop points on Sunday, that conversation dies immediately. Before we break down exactly why this Fulham match could define our entire season, hit that subscribe button right now, smash the notification bell, and drop a like on this video, because what I'm about to reveal about our tactical setup, our injury crisis, and the massive decisions Carrick has to make will change how you watch this game. Stick with me until the end, because I've got a prediction that might shock you, and you absolutely need to hear what the players themselves are saying about the pressure of being favorites. Let's get into it. Let me paint you a picture. 2 weeks ago, Manchester United were stuck in mid-table, looking lost, looking directionless. Ruben Amorim had just been sacked on January the 5th after a very public disagreement with the recruitment team. The mood around Old Trafford was dark. Fans were frustrated. Players looked confused, and nobody knew what the future held. Then came Michael Carrick. Yes, that Michael Carrick, club legend, former caretaker boss from back in 2021, and the man who left Middlesbrough to come home and save us. He was appointed on January the 14th, and what happened next has been nothing short of miraculous. First game, Manchester City at Old Trafford, January the 7th. Nobody gave us a chance. Pep Guardiola's men were rolling, sitting near the top of the table, and here we were with a brand new manager who'd had less than a week to work with the squad. What did we do? We absolutely battered them. 2-0 dominant performance, clean sheet. The atmosphere was electric. Brian Boumon and the lads tore City apart on the counterattack. Our defensive shape was compact, aggressive, organized, and suddenly we looked like Manchester United again. Carrick had worked magic in just a few days. But here's the thing. Beating City at home is one thing. Going away to Arsenal, the league leaders at the time, and doing it, again, that's a whole different level. January the 25th at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal had been on a 12-eye game. Unbeaten run. They were flying. And what did we do? We went there and we won 3-2 in one of the most dramatic, gutsy performances you'll ever see. We went behind to Alessandro Martinez's own goal. Did we crumble? Absolutely not. Brian Boumon equalized with clinical finishing after a defensive error. Then Patrick Dorgu, the young Danish winger who's been sensational, smashed home an absolute rocket for outside the box to put us ahead. Arsenal equalized through Mikel Mourinho, but then Matheus Cunha came off the bench and curled in a stunning winner that had us all jumping off our sofas. First win at Arsenal in the league since December 2017. First comeback win there since February 2005. History was made. Gary Neville was blown away. Roy Keane admitted we had momentum. The whole football world was watching Michael Carrick turn this team around in real time. 2 games, 2 wins, both against teams in the top 2 at the start of match day. Nobody had done that in the Premier League since David Moyes with Everton back in 2010. 16 years, 26 chances for other managers to do it, and Carrick did it in his first 2 matches. That's not luck. That's tactical brilliance, management, excellence, and players responding to a manager who believes in them. Now, let's talk about what's changed. The formation is different. Carrick has moved away from some of the rigid structures we saw before and given players freedom to express themselves. Ahmad and Patrick Dorgu have been making these arsing runs into central areas, confusing opposition. Midfielders, creating space, creating chaos. Brian Bumo up front has been a revelation. 9 goals in 19 matches since his summer move from Brentford for 71 million, and he's scored in back-to-back games. Now the man is a big game player. He thrives under pressure against Arsenal. He took his goal beautifully, showed composure, showed class, and proved exactly why United paid that massive fee for him. Then there's Matthias Cunha, another huge summer signing, 62.9 million from Wolves. He's been dealing with some fitness concerns, but when he comes on, he changes games. That goal against Arsenal was pure quality. Technique, vision, execution, the kind of moment that wins you points and climbs you up the table. And that's exactly what's happened. We're fourth. Now, fourth. Champions League football is in our sights. The gap to Arsenal at the top is 12 points, but we're not thinking about titles yet. We're thinking about momentum, about building, about getting this team into Europe, where we belong. But here's the challenge, and this is where Sunday becomes absolutely vital. Fulham at Old Trafford, kickoff at 2 p.m., and Michael Carrick himself has already warned the players. Do not underestimate this team. Do not think that just because you beat City and Arsenal, this is going to be easy. Fulham are having a brilliant season. They're sitting 9th in the table with 9 wins, 4 draws, and 8 losses from 21 games. They're solid, organized under Marco Silva, and they've been on a good run themselves. They drew with Liverpool recently, showing they can compete with the best. They've got quality players, like Harry Wilson, who's in scintillating form with 7 goals this season, Raul. Jimenez up front, Emil Smith row creating chances, and Alex Iwobi, who just returned from the Africa Cup of Nations. And here's what Carrick said in his press conference on Friday. And I'm paraphrasing here, but the message was crystal clear. He said, taking Fulham for granted would be bang out of order. He's absolutely right. These are exactly the kind of games that have cost us in the past. We beat the big teams then, draw points against sides we're expected to beat if we want to stay in the top 4, if we want to build something real. Under Carrick, we have to win these matches. Fulham away is one thing. Fulham at home with 75,000 Reds roaring. Us on is another, and we have to deliver. Now let's talk about team news, because this is important, and it affects how we approach the match. Patrick Dorgu is out. Hamstring injury picked up in that Arsenal game. It looked like cramp at first, but scans revealed something more serious. He'll be missing for a few weeks. That's a massive blow, because Dorgu has been incredible in these last 2 games. His energy, his directness, his defensive work rate, and that stunning goal at the Emirates. Losing him changes things. Carrick will need to adjust. Probably bring in someone like Mad to fill that wide role, or maybe shift the formation slightly to compensate. Matthews de Ligt is still out injured. He's been missing for while now dealing with fitness issues. Harry Maguire has stepped up brilliantly in his absence. Maguire was man of the match against Arsenal, showing leadership, composure, and defensive solidity. The criticism he's faced over the year seems miles away now, because he's playing with confidence again under Carrick. Kabi Mayu has also been dealing with injury concerns, but there's hope. He could be available soon. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount were both pushing to be involved against Burnley earlier in January and should be fully fit now, which gives Carrick more options in midfield. On the positive side, Nuzair Mazraoui is back from the Africa Cup of Nations after Morocco were knocked out. Brian Bumo's Cameroon also exited, so he's back and ready to lead the line again. Having those players fresh and available is crucial, because Carrick has made it clear he's working with the squad he has. There are no new signings coming in this transfer window. The club has no plans to strengthen in these final days before the window closes on February the 2nd. So Carrick has to maximize what he's got, and so far he's doing exactly that. Now let me talk about the predictions floating around for this match, because there's been some interesting analysis from betting experts and football analysts. The consensus seems to be that Manchester United are favorites to win at odds around 1.6. That makes sense, given the home advantage and the momentum we have right now. There's also strong expectation that both teams will score. Fulham have only failed to score once in their last 14 competitive fixtures. They're dangerous going forward. Wilson, Jimenez, Smith-Rowe. These are quality attackers who can hurt you if you give them space. United have been involved in more games where both teams score than any other team in the Premier League this season. 74% of our matches have seen goals at both ends, so expecting an open attacking game isn't unreasonable. As for Bumo, the talk is he could have a major impact. He's in form, he's confident, he's been involved in goals in consecutive games, and Fulham's defense will need to be sharp to keep him quiet. Some are predicting he either scores or assists, and given his movement, his finishing ability, and the service he gets from Bruno and others, that's a realistic expectation. United are the third highest scorers in the league. We create chances. We play with pace and purpose under Carrick. If we click like we did against City and Arsenal, Fulham are in for a tough afternoon. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. As much as I want to believe we're just going to steamroll everyone. From here, football doesn't work like that. Carrick knows it. The players know it. And we as fans need to remember it. Fulham will come to Old Trafford, organized, disciplined, and looking to frustrate us. They'll sit deep, make it hard for us to break them down, and hit us on the counter if we get too open. That's the test. Can we break down a low block? Can we stay patient, keep our shape, and find the breakthrough? Against City and Arsenal, we thrived on the counterattack. Against Fulham, we'll probably have more possession, more responsibility to create, and that's a different challenge entirely. Sen Lamon's our goalkeeper who's been solid. In these last two games, said it perfectly. He mentioned that these matches against teams sitting lower in the table are sometimes the most difficult ones. The ones you're expected to win, the pressure is different. When you play Arsenal or City, you're the underdog. You can play free. You can surprise people. When you play Fulham at home, you're the favorite, and that brings its own pressure. But Lamons also said, if you want to be a great team, you have to win these games. And he's absolutely right. Top four. Finishes title challenges, they're built on consistency. Beating the big teams is fantastic, but grinding out wins against well-drilled mid-table sides is what separates good teams from great ones. So, what's my prediction? I think we win. I think the atmosphere at Old Trafford is going to be incredible. The fans have seen what Carrick has done in 2 weeks, and they're going to back this team like never before. I think Mumo continues his form and gets on the score sheet. I think Matheus Cunha comes on again, and it makes an impact. I think Bruno Fernandes, our captain, our leader, dictates the tempo and creates chances. But I also think Fulham score. I think Harry Wilson or Jimenez find a moment, maybe catch us on the break and make it nervy. I'm going United 2, Fulham 1. A hard-fought battling win. That keeps us in the top four and extends Carrick's perfect start to 3. Wins from 3. Now, here's the bigger picture. And this is what we need to stay focused on. Michael Carrick is only the interim manager until the end of the season. The club's plan was always to appoint someone permanent in the summer. But after what we've seen, after how the players have responded, after the tactical improvements and the results, there's a growing debate. Should United just give Carrick the job full-time? Gary Neville, before the Arsenal game, said there couldn't be any consideration of Carrick taking the permanent role. Roy Keane said United need a manager who can win league titles, implying Carrick isn't that man yet, but then they both watched what happened at the Emirates. They both saw the football, the passion, the fight, the quality. And now that conversation is changing. The worry is that United have been here before. When Gunnar Solskjaer was appointed caretaker. Back in 2018, he won 14 of his first 19 games, including that incredible comeback at Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. United gave him the permanent job in March 2009, and then things fell apart. The club missed out on managers like Zinedine Zidane and Mauricio Pochettino because they acted too quickly, so there's resistance to making the same mistake with Carrick. But here's the counter-argument. Carrick isn't all. He's tactically sharper, more experienced now after his time at Middlesbrough. He understands this. Club inside and out. Maybe, just maybe, this time it could work. But that's a conversation for later. Right now, the focus has to be on Fulham. 3 points. Keep the momentum going. Keep the belief flowing through this squad. Keep the fans dreaming, because after years of struggle, after the chaos of the last few months, United fans deserve to enjoy this moment. We deserve to watch our team play with energy, with purpose, with pride, and that's exactly what Michael Carrick has given us. So, as we head into Sunday, here's what I want From you, get behind this team. Fill Old Trafford with noise. Make it a fortress. Again, cheer every tackle, every pass, every shot. Let the players know we believe in them. Let Carrick know we're with him. And let Fulham know they're in for a battle. If we do that, if we stay focused, if we execute the game plan, I genuinely believe we're going to get the win. Before I wrap this up, I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Carrick should get the permanent job if he keeps winning? What's your predicted scoreline for Sunday? Who do you think will be our standout player against Fulham? Drop your thoughts below. Have those debates. Get the conversation going. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, if you're as hyped as I am for this match, make sure you like this video, share it with your fellow Reds, and of course, subscribe to United. Daily update if you haven't already. We're going to be here covering every single moment of this incredible journey. This is what we live for as United fans. This is the roller coaster, the highs, the lows, the drama, the passion. And right now we're on a high that nobody saw coming 2 weeks ago. Let's ride it. Let's enjoy it. And let's make sure Fulham know they're walking into the theater of dreams where magic happens and legends are made. Michael Carrick is writing his own chapter in Manchester United history right now, and we get to witness it unfold. What a time to be a Red Devil. Come on, United.